Happy Devils Sunday. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast, Sunday edition. Of course, the 9 p.m. Sunday edition. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, paying the extra $22 a month on X Live and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with Shorts Guy. Shorts Guy being on location somewhere in beautiful New Jersey. Undisclosed location. Undisclosed bunker. Hiding from the rain. Hiding from the fans.
No rain down here. And I just gave part of it away. No rain where I am.
Oh.
The salty air prevailed today, Sam.
Okay. Were you trying to text me, or were you texting somebody else?
I was not. I was texting someone else.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because you disappeared there right when we were doing the intro. You disappeared off camera. I'm like, crap. I hope we have enough runway on the bumper.
I do believe I know that bumper quite well, Sam.
Oh, okay. You had it top of your head. Gotcha.
I know that bumper really well.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about me with that bumper.
Yeah.
I was actually there when that, believe it or not, Sam, I was there when that bumper was written.
Really? Oh, okay.
Really?
Well, you were also there in '95 Game 4 Stanley Cup Finals. Before we get into that, I got to repost the link. Also say hello to Steve Engel and Ted. Sorry about last week. I don't know. We got busy, I guess, in the summer.
Yeah.
You know how that
goes? We got busy with summer. I was out with little Steve at the Hockey Untapped.
Mm-hmm.
We were having a good time. We saw really awful local karaoke from Sussex County. It was quite the scene to behold.
Oh. And for those that don't know, joinourcrew.com. That's the website. Joinourcrew.com. Scan the QR code because we're taking your emails, your phone numbers. So in case we do a live event, say if we got a big guest and we're on location, you'll be the first to know. Because if you're the first to know, that means you'll be there. Or be square. Anyway.
Exactly.
So getting back, Scotty's on assignment. Beer Baron, I don't know. Beer Baron, what's Beer Baron's excuse this week?
He's on assignment, but I did see him.
Yeah.
Thursday night.
Okay.
Him and I met up at a brewery. Surprise, surprise. I saw him. I saw the whole family. It was a good time. And if you missed the picture that was posted to my Instagram and to the podcast Instagram, well, you missed a damn good picture of two really good-looking guys because the picture was taken by an artist.
Oh.
And we're not talking Beer Baron.
So are you guys starting an OnlyFans account now? Is that what this is?
I don't want to say we're starting an OnlyFans account, but if people want to throw us money,
oh yeah,
I'm all about it.
Yeah,
I'm all about.
We've got Rangers Suck T-shirts.
We do. Still on sale, by the way.
And I Hate Sam Wu T-shirts.
Oh yeah,
still on sale. But anyway, actually, we should do an email blast from the joinourcrew.com. Linking.
We should.
Linking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know why you didn't think that.
You know what? This is why I do the thinking and you do the doing. Anyway, so out of nowhere, during the summer, a 95 Cup Final Tailgating video from Game 4.
That was such a great video.
Is out. It's so random. It's so random. Now, I've been on record in saying this, and I gotta stop procrastinating. But I have a treasure trove of just home videos of that parking lot dating back to the late 90s and throughout 2000s. And I could tell you there were a lot of drunk fans. I don't remember what was on these videos. All I know is I had a VHS camcorder back then. A lot of it's on VHS tapes or the mini tapes. And then I had a DVD camcorder, which we've snuck in many times. Remember Beach Ball Day? We snuck in a camcorder.
We snuck. Remember how often we had to sneak the horn in?
Yeah.
Luckily, I knew somebody that worked the door, and I just tucked it under my jersey, and he would, okay, sir, you can go in. Pat me down so I could bring it in.
And I don't even know where this video came from because I saw other sites. Just they probably got permission to play the video. And I think one of these days, maybe next summer, we should have like a live event where we play some of these videos that I have because some of them date back.
That would be a great summer content. So sorry, I don't mean to use that word.
You just ruined my bit. Just ruined my bit. No, it's a great filler when we have nothing else to say on air. But a lot of stuff I have is like during the 2000 Stanley Cup run, the tailgates, 2001. There's
Glory years.
I wonder if Jeff videotaped it, but there was one time I got caught. I don't know if you know about this. I got caught. I was playing hooky. I was playing hooky from work to go to a playoff game. And it wound up that I was caught on camera, live TV, NBC 10 during the
Everyone's nightmare.
Devils Flyers series, Eastern Conference Finals, and I was holding up an Eric Lindros doll, and it had the C on it, and it said C, and it said concussion, and I was beating it down, and then all of a sudden I see all these news cameras on me, and one of them was NBC 10, Philadelphia, and the other one was WWOR Channel 9.
Oh, number 9.
Yeah. So I don't know. But I'm wondering if there's actual home videos of that or the Toronto Maple Leafs fans. I think a lot of us were mooning them. That may be caught on video back in 2001. And then we chanted 51st State. Probably not something right to do. They got offended by it.
Good.
And then remember that song "Blame Canada" came out. South Park.
Oh, I remember that song.
Yep, we were playing that over the over the speakers as well during then. And then obviously 2003, I had one of the first video camera phones inside the arena. Did you know that?
Yeah, we gotta go through this stuff. We gotta use it for next summer's filler.
Yeah, like we actually have a lot of stuff. And then we had a lot of stuff when we swept the Rangers. Remember that parking lot where?
Oh, I do.
I remember when JJ said, because there was a lot of back and forth with the Ranger fans, and then when that New York Rangers Snapple truck, this is actually from the team.
Oh yeah,
that started taunting us. Actually started taunting us, and we were throwing beer bottles at it. Remember that?
We were menaces.
And I remember. Do you remember how I tried to stop them? I actually brought out a traffic light. I think I actually brought out a traffic light to stop that Ranger Snapple truck that's actually owned by the team itself, and their interns were driving it. We have full videos of this, okay?
We have, yes. It was insane. We had such good times.
But I remember when we got in trouble with security, and I remember JJ saying, guys, this was all fun and games, but now I think we're going to war. Do you remember that? He's like, it was all fun and games, and then as soon as the cops go, like, okay, we're done. We're not messing around now.
It's man, we had some good times in the Meadowlands, and it was just such a good time. And I know all about that feeling like you had when you got caught on camera when you were afraid for your job. The same thing happened to me. Something was at a soccer match, and a video showed up on TMZ Sports, and I was like, oh crap, here we go. You can see me clearly in it. Let's see what happens this one.
Can tenure help you in that situation or no?
It should. It should.
It should in theory.
I panicked, I think, a little bit too much, but yeah, it was one of those things.
I would panic, dude.
Oh yeah, you can clearly see me.
Yeah, anytime you see her tear gas and and all that kind of stuff, that can be a problem. That can be a real problem.
Oh, it can be.
I'm sure there's a line item, that gray area that's not so gray in the contract, right? But getting back to the '95 video,
Yeah.
it certainly brings back memories because we talk about often the outdoor series game when it brought back memories when we were
Oh, big time.
tailgating. But seeing that video and just how life was back then. I mean, we're talking about 30 something years ago, or just about.
Just about 30 years ago.
Just about 30 years ago. I mean, we didn't have we had brick cell phones back then.
If you had one, if you had a cell phone,
if your coverage is more than 3 towns too.
you had to have money or a reason to have a cell phone. It wasn't just like, oh, I just have a cell phone. It was you had to have money or reason to have a cell phone.
Usually
my dad had a car phone for work.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, I mean, the only one in my family at that time period was my aunt. She had a beeper and a cell phone. She's a doctor.
My dad had a beeper as well. My dad was also in the radio business, so that's why he had all this stuff, because it was his business.
Cheaper by the beeper. You ever hear that phrase?
That I've never heard.
Oh, that was Amy Fisher. That was a Joey Buttafuoco. Actually, I shouldn't even be talking. Cheaper by the beeper, right? Yeah, I had a beeper too. And there was ways to alphanumeric communicate. Yep. Remember collect calls. You call mom on the payphone, and you'd be like, say the phone number, and they call you back.
Are you willing to accept a call from Mom? I'm ready to go get me picked up. My mom would just be like, nope, and just hang up and then come and pick me up. I remember doing that from high school all the time. Mom, ready to be picked up. Do you accept this call? No.
Well, actually, my wife and I were, Mrs. Wu and I were talking about, like, back in the olden days, like, okay, so, you'd be talking to your friend on the landline, and then your mom or dad would pick up and like, I need to use the phone. You remember those days? Like, I totally forgot about those days. Or or you got to go to Radio Shack for a 50-foot RJ11 cord so you can extend your phone into the next room.
It was the best when you got the wireless phone, so you could just take it into your room.
Yeah.
But again, it was about as big as our laptops are right now.
Yeah. But but you watch that video, it's like it's just like a throwback in time.
It is.
But it still feels like it was just yesterday.
Yes. And I made the comment when you sent it that I think I'm the only one on the podcast that was actually there in '95, which is wild. But it does seem like it was yesterday. There's so much I remember from before, from a little bit during, because I was just taking the whole game in. I think I had my goalie helmet on. I made a Stanley Cup to go to the game with. Mm-hmm. Stole Mom's Tupperware and made a tinfoil Stanley Cup. I remember the before. I remember the after specifically because it's just so burnt into my mind. Our team just won their first championship. Let's not forget, all amongst that video was all with the cloud of potentially moving to Nashville.
Which is very interesting as well.
Yeah.
A lot of us at the time period thought that this may be our last run.
That was it. It was going to be our one and only. It was going to be our one and only chance. We were going to watch our team win the Stanley Cup and then see them be moved to Nashville, which is why, even though I know there were a lot of people that thought that the Coyotes had to be moved out of Arizona, I am just so vehemently against the team moving because I remember that feeling as a middle schooler with having my team be ripped away from me, and I wanted nothing of that.
I remember seeing
miserable feeling.
I remember seeing signs: "No Devils, no Whitman."
Oh man,
the governor.
because Whitman was she was a fixture at those games too.
Yeah, she was
always
a fan, but the fans were holding the governor accountable because this had something to do with the lease agreement, and also, I mean, Dr. McMullen was using it as leverage because Nashville really wanted a team. And,
yes, they did.
And Nashville, at the time period, there was no such thing as Tennessee Titans. There was nothing in Nashville.
No,
or even
there
Memphis.
was nothing. There was just that garbage country music that was there.
Yeah. And, but again, that's where it all started. It was that parking lot, and just
Yeah.
the face painting, the
Mm-hmm.
tailgates, the
Yep.
roller blades. Back then they were
Oh,
so
well, that
crude.
that brought me back.
Yeah,
Playing hockey in the parking lot, man. Bringing your skates, and they had. I remember they had all of the trophies on display at the Hilton or whatever in the Meadowlands there before the game because my dad took me there.
was it
They had
Sheridan
all.
or Hilton?
It may have been the Sheridan. I don't remember where it was. All I remember is my dad took me there and we saw all the trophies. And I remembered whoever was next to the Stanley Cup. I remember as this little punk seventh grader going, "Hey, you better bring that to the arena tonight. You're going to have to hand it out," or something like that. I said, "You're going to need that tonight, so
So
bring it
you're
over."
already trolling as a seventh grader.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Was just telling the guy that was standing next to the Stanley Cup he had to bring it there, and I've got to dig it out. It's somewhere.
Was it
I
Phil
have a picture.
Pritchard? Do you think it
I
was Phil?
don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
It
that
very
would
well
be.
could have been, which would be hysterical. That would be right up there with that picture my mom found of Chico and I from
Wouldn't
about the
that be?
same time period.
Wouldn't that be funny if he even remembered? But anyway,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but I have pictures of me next to the Stanley Cup, and I have to find them that my dad took. They were all in these clear cases. Like they were all the trophies were on display. I don't know if they've done that since, where they've brought all the trophies and put them on display in a town that the cup was being vied for. I feel like that was like a one. There used to be so many different things that the NHL would do because they needed to build a fan base back then in '95.
hmm
But man, seeing all those trophies, that's when I fell in love with the Prince of Wales trophy because I got to see that close up. Man,
hmm
there's so much cool detail with crystal on the Prince of Wales trophy. That's my favorite trophy. Like I love the cup, but man, you see that Prince of Wales trophy up close. There's so much crystallized detail on that thing. It's a beautiful trophy, and it's a shame that no one wants to touch it when they win it. But the Prince of Wales trophy has got to be one of the most beautiful trophies in the NHL trophy case.
Yeah, I mean, and also remember these were pre 9/11 days. You could get
Yes,
away with a lot of stuff back in those days. I mean,
it was different.
my buddy Ferris tells me this story, and I have no reason to believe that he's embellishing or lying about it. But he told me that there was one game that they started a fire in the section during
I
that
can
cup
see it.
run, and yeah, I can't imagine. But he told me in 2003 what it was like to watch the cup being
Mm,
displayed and presented. He told me because I wasn't there in '95. Now, before I get into my story, in '95, I call it. I went through the Star Ledger. I went through the Daily Record, and there were ads. One Stanley Cup Final Game 4 ticket available.
yep.
The going price for nosebleed in those days was between $600 to $800 for one ticket.
Man.
My only problem, I was 16 years old. I did not have my license at that moment. I had my permit, but I did not have my license at that moment, and I really wanted to go. And I had my life savings ready.
Ready to go.
And then I had a friend that could probably take me to the tailgate, so we just pay for parking and just see if we
Hmm.
can sneak in or whatever. But he was dating some other girl, and he had to hang out. So I got screwed that night watching with the
See,
rabbit ears on
see,
Fox.
that's why I got to watch it because my uncle had the tickets and was unable to go to Game 4. I guess he had a a date with his then girlfriend and he couldn't go to that game. And my dad and I went to Game 4.
Wow,
Same thing happened. Same thing happened for Game 6 of the conference finals. That's the
wow.
reason why I got to go to that game. Like
So you
I
went
think,
to one when they beat Lindros?
yep, I was there at Game
Wow.
6 of the conference finals and then Game 4 of the Cup finals that year. I think we went to a game against the Bruins in the first round as well. Because I feel like I came home with like a good report card and I said, Dad, can we go to the game tonight? And he said, all right, well, let's see if we can get a ticket. And we got tickets like the night of. And we went to that game against the Bruins.
Yeah. So Ferris told me that this is what it was like, and see if you remember it was like in '95. But I can confirm it was like that in 2003 when I got to see it live. That once the cup comes out, it is the most beautiful thing,
Oh, it
shiny
is.
thing on ice, and in that moment of time, it becomes a movie. He's like, that's what it felt like. So I'm like, really? It's like, all right, well, if we win the cup tonight, yeah, it was exactly what he said. It's like a surreal movie that you're living in.
is.
You're like this, ah! Like, I mean, 2003 when they announced the Conn Smythe winner, we're like, bah! I mean, we got a lot of flack for that as fans, but really, I don't know, because it just seems like the NHL is always against the New Jersey Devils back in those days. The trap, the bad press, all that kind of stuff. But getting back to '95, just watching those videos, Shorts. Sometimes I wish we were back there
At the Meadowlands?
at the Meadowlands. There were times where,
Absolutely.
and I mean, we used to sometimes, go to Reds, the other Reds in
On the rainy
Carlstadt.
days.
Yeah,
On the rainy days, yeah.
and then walk over.
Yeah, and that's where, we brought it up at the outdoor game a couple times about how great it was to be back in the Meadowlands parking lot. That wasn't just us, just making stuff up. It was actually really good to be back in that parking lot because there were so many memories, from tailgating in that parking lot. Like, tailgating was what you did. When I finally got a ticket package, when I got to know you really well, that was the season after the lockout. It was by 5 o'clock. What you had to do, and this is 10 years after '95, but you always had to get there before they started collecting money for the parking lot, and then you were in.
Great.
It was like $10 or whatever it was. It was like $10. But if you got there like 4:55, you got there before they collected, and then you were good to go. But tailgating was just what we did. Like, I tailgated, just by playing inline hockey for a Rock and Rollers game later that summer, I think it was.
Yep.
Tailgating was it. Like, you tailgated at Devils games. Like, you tailgated and then you walked across the bridge. You walked across the cattle tunnel.
Moo.
And you made a lot of noise. And that bridge on a good game was one of the best places you could be.
Well, back in those days, it would never pass a safety inspection. That cattle tunnel, I mean, you could fall through that piece of wood because it's not like what it is
right
today.
Over Route 3.
Yeah, you could actually look down and see Route 3.
I see Route 3 underneath your feet. That was the best part. I mean, so after we won in '95, my dad and I were making our way through the Insanity back across to the Giants Stadium side, because that's where everyone parked, because it was if you parked on the arena side, you had money, but everyone else parked on the Giants Stadium side. And I just remember walking up to the tunnel and just hearing these loud crashes, just bang, 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 this loud noise, and then just like the crowd going nuts. They punched one of the sidewalls out of the tunnel. It just came tumbling down, and there were fans on the other side of it. There were fans in the tunnel, and everyone was just losing their minds. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah. We got away with
great.
a lot back then.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh,
it was a different time.
It got worse,
period.
and it got worse, and it got worse.
Oh yeah, I mean, I hope to find these videos, and maybe one day we should have like a viewing party at American Whiskey. Some of these videos that I might find, because it's absolutely hysterical. I can't imagine. And a lot of these videos that I took, Shorts Guy, I never actually watched. I just recorded.
So you'll be watching it for the first time like us.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I would like to review the video before we
just
publicly
in case.
display, just in case foul language is in there that
Oh, I
can't be
guarantee there's
can't
foul language in
can't,
there.
can't be said in today's world. I don't know, but yeah, it was just a different time period. I mean, I remember yelling SARS at the Ottawa Senator fans. You got SARS! Get away! Get away!
Uh, man, the dumb things we used to do, but it was so much fun being in that parking lot, and that's why the outdoor game was I guess you could say kind of magical because we were all back in that parking lot.
Like
And
as if there was no gap in between.
yes, and there are a lot of fans that only know the Devils being in Newark.
That's
And
true.
it was an opportunity for those fans to see what tailgating was like for a Devils game, which was really cool as well. Um, it's man, I would love if they did another outdoor game at Giant Stadium again at some point. It would be fantastic, but we'll see if they do that. But nothing beats nothing beats that atmosphere that was there in '95. I remember being in seventh grade and getting offered champagne to be put into the Stanley Cup. My dad quickly put the kibosh on that. But people had bottles of champagne outside that they were all pounding too in the parking lot. It was like people were prepared for a win. Seeing that guy with the squid or with the octopus outside the arena, like I mean, there
Yeah.
was just so much. There was just so much that Devils fans were ready for. We were not expected to win. We were the Wings were supposed to roll all over us, and they would go on to win cups after that. But man, that was a special season for the Devils right there.
Well, yeah, it was the Scott Stevens hit on Kozlov.
Oh, I saw
Yeah,
that the other day randomly in something else. It was like I forgot how monstrous that hit was.
and the Niedermeyer end to end, which
I
is
was
like
just thinking that one. Yep.
infamous. The battles between Eric Lindros and Scott Stevens the
Mm-hmm.
series prior, because remember the Flyers. I mean, Eric Lindros won the Hart Trophy that year. The Flyers were slated really to be the ones going in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
And what happened with the Devils is they just got hot at the right time, and that's when like the neutral zone trap versus the left wing lock. There was this whole thing about the trap, 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 but nobody could get through the defense. And once if you can get through the defense, you had a young goaltender in Marty Brodeur that was
Mm-hmm.
just stellar, absolutely
Mm-hmm.
stellar. I mean, does anybody remember when there was this one play in that Flyer series that Brodeur wrestled somebody right in
No, I
front
don't
of the
remember
net?
that.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
He actually chopped him with his stick, and then he went after him. I think it was Dion. It's somewhere on YouTube. And the Select the Boy, the crash line. Don't ever forget about the crash line. Crash line versus the
No, I
Legion
was
of
gonna
Doom.
bring that. I was gonna bring up Mikey Peluso crying in the last 5 minutes of Game
Yeah,
4. He could not take the ice because he was crying,
yeah.
and it was just like that. That became one of the big scenes, like one of the big things of like the Devils winning. Mike Peluso, the guy who was kicking the crap out of everyone all season long, could not take the ice because he was crying in his Jofa helmet for the last 5 minutes of the game.
And then, well, yeah, it's Stefan Richer. But what about Neil Broughton? I
Oh
think
man.
I think he may be one of the few, or maybe the only American that's ever won gold Stanley Cup and NCAA. Did he win the NCAA?
NCAA, I don't know, but he's one of the few to win, especially from that '80 team, to win gold in the cup.
Yeah,
It's that's yeah, he's one of the few.
I think he
Um,
has. Yeah, I'll have to look. I'll have to look at the records, but I think he did win a national championship. But did he ever play in the minors? We'll have to go back
yeah,
and
we'll have
look.
to really go back.
So I'm not sure if Mark Johnson did he ever win the cup?
That I don't know. I want to say Neil Broughton was one of the only ones, if not the only
Yeah,
one.
yeah, because I mean Jim Craig, I don't think did.
No, he had his moment in that tournament, and he played here and there, but he wasn't like a force like he was in that tournament. He was otherworldly in the '80 tournament.
Mm-hmm. But there's something special about that '95 team. I mean, after what happened against the Rangers the year before, and
Oh,
then just to come back, and then with the whole Nashville, uh, the
mhm.
cloud over your head. I mean, at that time period, we were, during the parade. I mean, there is a video of the parade out there. It's like a 3-hour news footage of the parade that happened afterwards. Did you go to the parade, Shorts guy?
I was. I was at the parade too. Yeah, it's Chris Terreri holding up the Nashville No Way sign
Yeah.
on stage there with everyone else. Yeah, I was at the parade. I still have that poster somewhere. Like they were just giving. They had like pallets of the poster with the Stanley Cup and the whole roster on it. Like I have that somewhere. That
2000,
was
2000,
good time.
2000 was good. I was one of the last to leave the parking lot. It was just state troopers and like Jeff and I in the end. And we still started chanting Jersey Troopers, and they were loving every minute of it. It's like, just go home safe. You guys drink? No. Go home safe.
Uh,
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then 2003, that parade was it was like 95 degrees out. It was
yeah.
hazy, hot, and
Well,
humid. Oh,
New Jersey summer day.
yeah. It was during the day. It was during the day.
Yeah.
But man, if
Good
they ever had
times.
it in Newark, I'd love to ride a Newark PD horse to that
Who you,
parade.
Wade Boggs?
Yeah, exactly. I'll have to lose a little bit of weight of that one. I don't want to kill the horse. You got, you got me and
We'll get
another,
Mrs. We'll get Mrs. Wu on that one.
or maybe on a rickshaw or something like that. Now Max says Neil Broughton and Ed Belfour are the only two to win NCAA, USA Golf, USA Gold, and Stanley Cup. But what? No. When did Ed Belfour win the Olympic gold?
Ed Belfour was Canadian, wasn't he? I could have swore Eddie Belfour was Canadian.
I thought he was Canadian too.
I'm looking it up.
Or did he win Canadian gold? Which I don't think he did either. Marty Brodeur did back in 2002.
No, he did. No, it's Belfour and Neil Broughton, the only two to do that. But Belfour did it for Canada. So Belfour did it, just not for the U.S. Belfour did it for Canada.
When did
He won it
Canada
in
win?
Salt Lake. Salt Lake, when Brodeur won it.
So what was Belfour on the team?
Yeah, I guess so. He was on the Salt Lake team. I thought it was Brodeur. Who was on that team in Salt Lake? So it was definitely Brodeur, and it might have been, it might have been Brodeur, Cujo, and Belfour as the three. But Brodeur was the one that I think carried the team that day. Let me take a look.
Max says, "My bad. Wikipedia let me down."
Ah, Wikipedia letting him down. Let me look see if I can find out the 2002 Canadian National.
Now, did Zach Parisi ever win an NCAA title?
I believe he did, but he never won a Stanley Cup. So
Yeah, he got close though. He got close.
just not close enough.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ed Belfour, Brodeur, and who was the other goalie? Looking through the roster now. Mario Lemieux was the roster. Eric Lindros is on that team. Who's the other goalie here? Oh, yep, was Cujo. Brodeur, Cujo, and Belfour.
Yeah, but Belfour didn't play. He was just riding the pine.
Whatever, he still has a gold medal. It's one more gold medal than you and I have.
He was riding the pine. It's not like Neil Broughton that actually played.
Well, it's still one more gold medal than you and I have, Sam. Combined.
I got to start a sport, and then somehow get. Maybe I should start breakdancing. Get on the Olympic team.
I mean, Sam, Do I have to say? But do I have to say it? Well, you're the sport you should be in. For your cultural heritage.
Eating?
No.
Oh.
Table tennis.
Oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. Anyway. Well, I think we should finish up this podcast. Shorts? We said we were going to go
so
20.
too.
I think we said we were going to 20. Now we're almost at 40 minutes.
Let's close it up because it was 9:10, I think, about when we started.
Yeah,
so.
Something like that.
It's a summer night. This is what you get on the podcast on a summer night. Dead air. Nice.
No, I'm just
Sam's
reading. I'm reading John Olympic gold and Cup in the same year. But did he win the NCAA, Ken Morrow?
Yeah, no. There was only two players. It was Neil Broughton and Eddie Belfour.
Eddie Belfour doesn't count.
But he won a gold medal.
He doesn't
Stanley
count.
Cup.
He probably didn't even know where he was at that moment.
I mean, yes. Was it the end of his career? It was. He was playing with Dallas. It was 2002. He won the Cup with them in '99, and it was coming to the end of his career. Actually, no. Didn't he end his? I think he ended his career in Toronto. But regardless, he was coming to the end of his career, but he was still on the team. He still won a gold medal.
Was he even dressed?
I don't know, Sam. We got to go back and look at the videotape.
All right.
Oh my gosh!
I'll argue this to death. Anyway, Eddie Eagle.
I know you will.
Eddie Eagle. Marty Brodeur beat him anyway. All right. So
yes, we know.
Want to thank all those tuning in. Just remember to go to joinourcrew.com. Again, joinourcrew.com. Maybe we'll do an email blast so you can.
We should
help a teacher out. Sell Rangers Suck T-shirts or I Hate Sam Wu T-shirts on sale now.
On sale
now.
Mm-hmm.
You better get it while supplies last. Let me tell you.
You want it before the season starts. This is the least expensive. This is the cheapest these shirts are going to be before the season.
Absolutely. And that's all I have to say.
That's all I have to say. Yeah, that's my final thought. Buy a shirt.
Yeah, buy a shirt. Buy a shirt. Hello, Ted. Start planning the
Ted.
road trip, says Max.
We are. By the way, Ted, I saw your comment. Thank you about the hat. It was a random purchase, but I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, so we'll have Stay the Fan address midweek, Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, pucksandpitchforks.com. As the summer continues, but we'll be back for Season 8 on September 15th, I believe, or September 22nd.
Something like that.
Yeah, we'll be back. Scotty will be back next week. Don't you worry. We got it all figured out. And we'll be back at American Whiskey on opening night, the home opener.
Yes, we will.
All right, getting out of here. Till next time, let's go Devils.